Wonder Woman #5, written by Tom King with art by Daniel Sempare, Timo Murray, and Clayton Coles. In this, we're going to get what seems like it's the greatest thing ever. We're going to get gathering of the Wonder Woman Revenge Squad. If people don't know,
Villainy Inc.
Yeah, Eric Shea here, while also being America's sweetheart, he loves the gathering of these teams and really loves Revenge Squads.
Just give me any kind of team like this, whether it's the Secret Society or a Superman Revenge Squad. Just anything along these lines, I could have so much fun with, because I always want to think to myself, well, even with the Suicide Squad, like, who can you put on the team that's going to be the perfect team to go up against whatever they're going to do? And here you have the opportunity to do all of that. And for some reason, Tom King decides, all right, we're going to take all the team members. We're also going to put the idea that all the Wonder Girls are going to get together to work on Wonder Woman's team, while these villains, and just everything seems so compressed and crammed together that you have an issue that should be one of the greatest things ever. Maybe spread out between maybe 2 to 3 issues for the amount of story that should be told here. And it's crammed together to the point of, I don't know how it's possible. Tom King took 2 really cool ideas and presented it in the most boring way possible, and it blew my mind.
So boring. And his run so far, maybe not exactly the Cancer Kid episode or issue last time, but the whole Sovereign overall narration, it bores me. It has from the get-go, and it does end up taking away kind of the, a feel for the issue. It doesn't feel as if anything's really happening in the here and now. It feels like what it is. You're being told something that already happened. And Daniel Sempare is great. His art's awesome, but that even feels like he can't really do too much, because it's pretty much, hey, look, Cersei did this. Hey, we got Giganta by that. And when you end up getting the team, I said, and when we talked about this at length on our Patreon, if anybody's interested in that. But when you get into it, it feels like he's presenting the characters not in a way to tell you who they are or why they're on the team, but he wants to do this weird play of impressing you with knowledge, but never really tells you much. I mean, there are characters like Dr. Psycho. He never tells anybody what Dr. Psycho's power is.
Nope, he just doesn't like women.
Yeah, does he rely that everybody knows that? But it's weird, because in an issue, how he's writing it, it feels like he's trying to set it up to let people know, but then doesn't. Or like a Giganta, which this is something I saw, on Twitter and things, where when Tom King jumped on the Wonder Woman book, people are, oh my God, don't you get it? He's so awesome. He gave us the definitive version of the origin of Wonder Woman. But he didn't. He told us the 2 major ones and never went between.
And even in this issue, I swear that he went with just the idea that she was made of clay.
So when it's the alley versus boat of the whole Batman deal. He likes to do this to let you know, oh, I know that there's varied deal. But with Giganta, he doesn't say. He actually gives you these ideas. Oh, it's so convoluted, we don't know. And then you wasted time. It is a cool little visual where she's in that huge cell. You even said to me that you've never seen that before. It's really neat. I like that.
But the thing about this, though, you have this group of villains together: Giganta, Silver Swan, Grail, Dr. Psycho, Angleman, and Cersei. I'm like, yep, that's a really badass group of Wonder Woman supervillains, and I want to see them do stuff. I want to see more about the idea of even recruiting them, like you're almost putting together a Suicide Squad. We've seen previously that Amanda Waller is involved with the President, the Sovereign, and all these other things. Get her involved, because she's a woman who knows how to put together a team for a specific mission. You show that she is putting together a team with Sarge Steel, with the Sovereign, and you give this a reason why these specific characters are brought together, and show the U.S. military trying their damnedest to put them. They're going to fail, but even show us how we're supposed to be able to get these people on their side to take out Wonder Woman. You could have a really full, fun issue, but the way it's presented is like, here's a page of some narration. Move on. All right.
Yeah, and like you said, one of the things that gets me in here, where most of them you're going to go and say, just like with Giganta, hey, we want you to help kill Wonder Woman. Okay, she's in. But what is going to keep a Dr. Psycho on the battlefield when stuff goes wrong?
Well, you ain't got brain bombs.
What are you going to do with Giganta? What are you going to do? All these characters are just going to leave. Yeah, they want to end up taking down Wonder Woman, but where are you giving me the idea? And that's kind of the cool idea, especially with a Sarge Steel / even Amanda Waller and these sort of things, is what is it's fine enough to say we want to bring down Wonder Woman, but what will keep them on the team? Where is it that you have Giganta and you're blackmailing her? Or Cersei, you have this. It could even be as crazy as we're offering Cersei some artifact. It's something, but nothing is done. And what you're doing is playing games where, oh, look, Cersei, she turned Sarge Steel into a pig. okay, I get the joke.
Because she wanted to be on the team.
And it doesn't
reason.
matter because that's the problem is it ends up just being kind of taken away. It didn't really matter. And then you go through this while you said also Yara Flor and all the Wonder Girls.
Yara Flor, Cassie Sandsmark, and Donna Troy.
We're going to get them. The dialogue overall for Wonder Woman is atrocious to me. And you throw these
for
weird
everybody in my
things
mind.
in there. Yeah. And so Yara Flor, and this is where I get where Tom King, you want him to give definitive versions because that's cool when somebody is able to say, this is it. Yara Flor, we don't really know a lot about still because unfortunately she became too popular in my mind. DC kind of
gave up on her.
And then they gave up on her. So she's here, which is neat.
She
but
was
you're not
Naomi.
really doing anything. All you have here from Tom King is, oh, she's young, so she's going to be kind of like a Zoomer or something, or, oh, you old lady, I'll do this, this, and this. And you have what could be a cool scene. I don't even love the art in this where you have these arrows and they're having a contest of arrows and they're shooting them and each one keeps hitting the other. So they always...
Because obviously, because they're Amazons and stuff like that, in order for any of the Wonder Girls to help Wonder Woman in her conquest of fighting off the entire U.S. military, they have to have a competition to say that they are able to, because Wonder Woman doesn't want the Wonder Girls on her helping her out because this is her problem, her burden to bear. But the Wonder Girl is like, look, I'm going to fight you in arrows. And the other Wonder Girl, Cassie's like, I'm going to arm wrestle you. And for some reason, Donna Troy is like, I'm going to play you in a video game. And I just have to think to myself the idea that you have the Sovereign giving us the overall narration from the future that he's supposedly telling Trinity. Is that why all the characters feel off and don't seem like the characters they should be? Because this old man is telling a story that he doesn't understand in the future?
He doesn't understand. He's like, I don't know what you call this arm wrestling
Does that
thing?
make this okay? Because I don't know who these characters are because they don't act like the characters are supposed to. The competitions they're picking are crazy to me, and I don't get it. I don't understand because this is great. This should be great.
It's not that because if you notice, the narration does disappear when you get that. Yeah, afterwards he says she has an army, but you have this arrow shooting, but then Yara gets hit. Oh my God, I lost. I thought I had you. But really all this is, again, like you said, I'm glad you brought it up. It is a contest of champions. It's a contest to let Wonder Woman allow them to help her when really overall she should be very thankful that they want to help. I understand that she wants them not to get hurt, but I kind of think that she would let them help. And at the end, because all the contests, Wonder Woman wins the contest. Even the video game one, because somehow ahead of time, she understood that Donna's probably going to pick video games, so she on what?
Because, Donna, obviously, video games. What do you think of Donna Troy? Come on.
There are a couple things I think people will be upset in the dialogue. Donna Troy at one point says that, hey, I was a Titan. We only play video games. We don't do anything else. And that was weird. Please.
You're supposed to be the Justice League right now. Don't sell yourself like this.
So then you end up having a Villainy Inc. You have this whole, Wonder Woman Revenge Squad that's built on hate and built on this, where Tom King then says, but Wonder Woman, she has a team built on love, because when Wonder Woman comes back to her apartment, Cassie, Donna, and Yara are there saying, yeah, screw that stuff we said before. We're helping you. And then somehow Diana's like, okay, I don't get it. Like, you just wasted a good part of this issue. And I think that it was Tom King thinking that if Wonder Woman accepts help right away, that wouldn't be like Wonder Woman. So he has to show that she's against it and better than the Wonder Girls, but then but that's not, to me, the character. The character isn't that.
I have to wonder, is this why Josie Campbell decided to turn the Amazon's Attack book into a Mary Marvel book? Because out of nowhere, Tom King wasn't playing by what rules was going on over there? Because Yara Flor's in that Amazon's Attack book, and then Yara Flor is here as well, helping Wonder Woman, and they seem to be very different kind of stories. So it's like, all right, well, I better do my own thing because Tom King only plays by Tom King rules. Like, why are we reading Amazon's Attack at this point if it doesn't matter?
Some people are like, I don't know why you are, but why are we reading this?
It was so good before.
Yeah, it actually was doing the heavy lifting, and now it's weird. And even when you get this team, you throw Angle Man on there, and it seems like Tom King wants to really push this idea that everybody thinks that Angle Man's a joke, but he's really cool and great, and he's the best. It's just Kite Man again. And I said to you on our Patreon Spotlight that I guarantee he's going to come up with some stupid catchphrase that he thinks will catch on, like that stupid Kite Man. And I know people like, it'll be like that. Angle this. How about that? Would you like that? That's a triangle.
We say that. Kite Man's catchphrase was hell yeah. So it's like, Angle Man's just going to go around saying, damn straight.
See if that would work.
But the thing is, it's straight. It's not an angle. What are you doing, Angelo?
Hey, Or, hey, this looks like trouble. This looks like we're set in a trap, Azoid. Is that
really? Is that what you know, trapezoid?
Now I'm saying this like maybe I have to accept that Tom King has some more clever catchphrases, but still, like, oh my goodness. But I think the straight line that could, but yeah. And I said to you when we were talking about it earlier, that would be it, and that'll be so ridiculous. But I said you set up that the Angleman, that he's figured out the right math for the anti-life equation, which is completely ridiculous. But is that why we have it? I said in that, it doesn't. But is that why Grail's here? Because of Darkseid, but you don't get it. You don't know, and it's just very boring. It's the most boring presentation of something like that. Not one
that
person
should be
says,
amazing, though.
Son of a bitch, I'm in. I'm waiting for that. And when you have Cass is, doing some arm wrestling, you don't have a hat turned backwards or that different weird thumb grip, like an over the top. Like, I need that.
I don't know how you show that per panel to panel, but maybe you could do that with like a 9-panel layout where all of a sudden just the hand moves a little bit over the thumb.
Have that over the thumb. To have some fun with it, but it's not much fun.
Oh, man, Cassie Sandsmark is going over the top.
Here's what you have. You already mentioned in a previous issue, the team. He was hinting at it. We're going to get the guy who hates the ladies. Oh, that's Dr. Psycho. We're going to get this, the Angle. Like, we have all the characters now. And you have the Wonder Girls saying, we want to help you. No, yes. At the end of this issue, we really didn't do that much more. This whole series is such a slow progression, and I just don't get it. I saw people saying this was the greatest issue they've ever read. I don't get it. We also have a backup, too, and the backup is written by Tom King, and it's Bela Ortega on art, and it's the Trinity stuff. And people have at least, and me and you have at least been like, well, at least we get that. But even last issue with the Black Mercy was like,
oh, it's wearing thin.
It's wearing thin.
In order for us to really enjoy Trinity, this supposed daughter of Wonder Woman, for this whole backup of the story, that's kind of the crux of Tom King's run so far. In order for us to feel like, in his mind, this is how I take it at least, in order for us to really see how great Trinity is, he has to make Damian and John the worst people ever. Like, you take any of the squabbling they had originally as Super Sons, as 10 and 11 years old, and now they're full grown adults, and for some reason they're worse. And I don't understand. There's no progression in characterization, even for where we are with Damian currently ever since the Lazarus tournament. Right now, he is just a jerk, and John's kind of a jerk as well, especially to each other. And these are supposedly our Batman and Superman. They're just unlikable just so we have to like Trinity.
Yeah, and if you are a friend, if you're
Are you a friend?
Fan, are you a friend? Or if you're a fan of the Super Sons, go back. Remember the idea of that, because they started bickering at the beginning, and it I thought it went a little, but then they came together, and that's what made it special. That's what made this, and really, it went through Damian. To me, because John, he's always like a good, happy-go-lucky guy, and there's Damian, he's so misery, and you had John kind of rub off on Damian eased up
Showed
a bit.
Him the light.
At this point, where I get it, is Tom King doesn't quite get what the Super Sons were, but is also just going, oh, it's Damian's Batman, John is so we have to go with that trope. Oh my God, Damian's always. He had it with the Black Mercy. He actually said in this that Damian doesn't have any hope or dreams, so the Black Mercy doesn't work on him. We know that's not true if you're a fan of Damian. So when he does these tropes, you're writing them as Batman and Superman, but why? Because they're different characters, and that's what made them special. That's what makes them still special. We even said when Joshua Williamson is doing the Batman and Robin deal, we might not love the story overall, but he is giving you a good Damian, and really did in the Robin series. And this kind of like, oh, by the way, that's all bullcrap, because it ends up where Damian's just misery and they're bickering, and it ends up putting a dark cloud over what should be really fun with Trinity. And you said when we talked on the Patreon that Trinity has a little girl in the rock. Like, that's the cutest thing ever, and I wish we got more of that.
Oh, it's the best. Her in a little Robin costume in the Batcave as a young girl, it was the best.
Yeah. And it's a weird play if you look at this, because what are people most upset about with Super Sons and things like that? It was the aging up of John. Getting these backups with Trinity, you are just aging really quickly. Like, you're not even getting some of the big fun moments, which is a shame. And by this point, it's worn out its welcome for me. And I wish I didn't say that, because I think Trinity could be really fun. And I like But anytime you get an older Damian, please stop doing the Batman 666 nonsense. Just, it's not.
Why? Look, the thing is, if you have Damian Wayne in a Batman costume, it's got to be the Batman 666, because that's his costume, the Batman 666.
I don't know. It adds the misery.
I'm not saying that he's got to sell his soul and terrible things have to happen, but I still like the idea that this is going to be Damian's Batman costume in the future, no matter what.
I'm telling you, a lot of people I saw when they had the first backup, they pretty much said, why do we always have to go to that? But I think that also skews how Tom King's telling it, because he thinks that's how Damian has to end up as well. I don't get it. I think it's a misplay. But what would you give this overall?
Ultimately, I would give this a 4 out of 10, which is crazy because I think the art is great. And I think the premise is great with the idea of putting the villains together, putting the Wonder Girls together. Both things that I can't wait to see more of. I just think that it was presented in the most boring way possible, to where it was tedious to read, because the thing is, I want to see more of this, but now I'm afraid to see more of this, especially if it's presented in this manner.
Yeah, and a lot of times people get upset that, Tom King ruins that character. Yeah, he doesn't ruin characters here. He just doesn't really utilize them in a way that can be fun and cool. And I think that he runs through the filter of misery when he should realize this. It doesn't have to be jokey and crazy one-line, but it's fun to see these teams being gathered and why. I mean, it's like the idea where everybody says, what's your favorite Justice League team? You said it earlier. You love that. You love to assemble a team and to see why. Like, what would you do? And in this, it really feels
I'm
like
such a nerd. I just write down a list of characters to put together on a fan fiction kind of team, just for no reason.
Like, just tell everybody, when we work together, you'd say, write down your best Justice League team. And you'd go there, you'd take all afternoon, and then you go, and I'm like, I have 5 Supermen. I have like 5 Supermen and 2 Batmen.
You're a ruiner.
Yeah, I just think that you have a really cool concept. And maybe he's not that concerned with it. He wants to get to the meat of it, but he hasn't. We're on issue 5, and we really haven't done much. So it's kind of a shame.
That's the thing. It's for a guy that's dragging his feet and hemming and hawing to actually get to the story. I'm surprised that you didn't take these awesome concepts and make it 2 to 3 issues worth of cool stuff instead of combining it into one.
Instead, he combines it into one, and it's boring. I don't understand how you do this. It's black magic in this, Eric. But overall, I'm a 5 as well. So that is that. But thanks, everybody, for listening. As always, check out the description of the video, and there's a bunch of links, including to our Patreon account, patreon.com/weirdscience, where you can hear a bunch of things. But every Thursday night, me and Eric get together, and we have a spotlight episode, 2 books picked by the badasses of the Get Fresh crew. And we do an expanded deal, and the 2 books that we did this week are this Wonder Woman and the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Every time I say versus, and that makes me laugh because it's barely that, but check all those out. But thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.